What's up, guys? Willie James here from Dreamhouse Music, and in this video, I'm going to talk about how I approach top bat music. My approach, it may not be what you're used to, but this is what I do. So I just want to share. Hopefully, you could take some tips from it and run. All right. If you're new here, you want to learn more about gospel piano, please share the love by liking, sharing, subscribing, and also check out some resources in the description below. You'll get access to my PDF on my quick start course. Awesome resources if you're a beginner, you want to learn gospel piano without overwhelming theory. Check that out. So let's jump right into it. So I'm going to start with my Diatonic Chords playbook here, just to talk about chords. If you want to get access, again, click the link below. I have all diatonic chords in all 12 keys. Diatonic chords are all the foundation chords you need to know as a gospel beginner. Okay, so I'm just gonna go to C here and talk about top music. So top music usually, I believe it refers to, you know, either you're backing up, you know, the worship service. Maybe your pastor or praise team leader is saying an exaltation or praying or speaking, and you want to set an atmosphere, a warm atmosphere. That's where I'm gonna go. What, like warm atmosphere stuff. So I'm gonna do piano pads kind of thing. Yeah, I'm just gonna go from there. All right. So if we're going in the key of C, two approaches. You can go from a major approach or a minor. I'm gonna talk about the major approach. So the worship chord for me is a 4 chord. Okay. F major, F A C. If we're in the key of C, okay, the 4 chord is an F. 1 2 3 4. All right. What I like to do a lot of sus2 and open chords for you know, top music or pad music or yeah, something laid back. I'll just do a 4. That's all I do. You know, someone saying an exaltation, your pastor's preaching, I have a piano, then I set up a pad, and it just sounds really nice. So I'll just pedal using the F. Right, so for those of you who don't know what a sus2 is, hopefully I explained it. F major, a sus2 is where you take the third, omit the third, 1 2 3, and just play the 2, right? So whatever chord you're on is the bass. So since we're on the chord F, F is 1. Even though we're in the key of C and F is 4, if we're talking in the context of the chord itself, by itself, all right, F, since we're on F major, F is 1, so G is the 2. So that's what I mean. You play the 1, the 2, and the 5, not the 1 3 5. All right, instant worship chord. Take the 3, put it to the 2, like so, and then I repeat the 1 and the 5, which is the F and the C and the bass. That's it. And I'll just roll the piano. I'll use my sustain pedal. And I'll stay really low, just like this. Another thing I can do is I can add a 7th. The 7th, okay? So that should say an F major 7th or F sus2 major 7th, because we have that E on top. Why is it a 7th? E is 7 steps from F. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7, counting up the C major scale because we're in the key of C. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. All right, this is just the C major scale counting from F. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. Oops. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. 4 5 6 7. Okay. So F sus2 major 7. And that's it. Sometimes I'll switch between a 5 chord. All right. So that 5 chord, that's G major. That's the 5 chord. That's the diatonic G major chord on the 5. Because G is the 5th degree, 1 2 3 4 5 in the key of C, so we play G major like so. So I'll just alternate between those 2 chords, like so. So I'll just do little patterns like so. Right? And you can open up on top depending on what sound you're looking for, what's going on in the service or wherever you are, right? You can play up top and open up the chord, all I did was like, I just did what's called chord extensions, which means repeating the notes. So we got F, G, C there. I'll just do F, G, C up here. Then I'll double up on the C, and I'll play the G like so, and I space out the 4 chords. So I'm on the 4. 4 is a worship chord in gospel worship, CCM. They play a lot of this stuff. You can go for a more open sound. So it's like almost like a C fifth or C5, which is just C and G, over the F and C on the bottom, which still makes it a F sus2. What I did there, I did a movement. That's C, drop 2. Do a lot of drop 2s. Drop 2s basically take the chord and take out the 2, whatever chord it is, whether it's a major or minor chord, diminished chord even, any chord, take out the second note. So I have this chord here. Well, this is C, root position, first inversion, take out. So do the drop 2, boom, take out the second note. Creates an open voicing. So I could do kind of these C intervals. I could do it with the G chord too. So really it's like you could play the 1 chord over the 4. So you could play straight 4, sorry. The 1 over the 4 or the 5. But of course I don't play them straight. I play with sus2 usually. So I'll play, if I'm playing the 4 chord, I do the sus2. If I'm playing the 1 chord, I'll do the sus2. If I'm playing the 5 chord, I do the sus2. Right? So it creates this nice open, right? And for whatever reason, God made it this way. The 4 chord is like a worship chord, right? And I'll just roll too. I'll arpeggiate the chords, right? So if I have something like, let's go back to the F sus2. I'll do the inversion. Well, I'll do inversions. And you could arpeggiate and roll. I'm just rolling. You can roll on the G as well. It sounds like a spacey kind of open, right? You could do stuff like this. This is just the G sus2 over the F. Well, you know, basics. It's just a 5 chord over the 4. Right? The 5 chord is G, but I'm playing it in sus2 form. Notice I haven't moved the F and the C. Right? So I'm creating multiple qualities of sound or textures just by changing between the 1 sus2, 4 sus2, and 5 sus2. Right? So you can. That's one of my favorite moves in between the 5. That's G major in second inversion, first inversion. So it's like a melody. Dee, 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 dee. Drop 2 form. Alright, that's G major second inversion, drop 2. G major first inversion, drop 2. To the F major second inversion, drop 2. A lot of drop 2 chords. Drop 2 just opens up the space between the notes because you're dropping the second note, so you're creating more space. So instead of this, drop 2, this, drop 2, this, drop 2. Okay. So you should get that by now. So if anything, just remember we're doing atmosphere music, talk music. I usually go, my 4 is the go-to, the 4 chord, whatever key I'm in, the 4 chord. And then I just do the 4. I usually won't do the F major, I'll do the sus2. I can do the 5 sus2 and the 1 sus2. Okay, and then you could double up. Okay, and just play and discover and really play with the melody, and you'll find your own unique sound as well. This is what I like to do. Okay, now I can also switch up the bass notes. I'll do alternate bass. So staying with the context of 4, Remember, the 4 chord in C major is F, A, C. So this whole time I was sitting on the root note, which is F. I can use A as a substitute to the F with the same chord. So I'll take the sus2. Instead of playing the 4, I'll play the A, which in the context of C major is 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So you can alternate, keeping that F sus2 in the right hand. Right? Another bass note you could do is the 2. Okay, so the 4, in place of the 4 chord, I'll do the 6 or the 2. D is 2 in C major, 1, 2. Right, you can see the C major scale here. Right? As you can see, C is 1, D is 2. Okay? So I'll do the 6. Alright, so that's how I approach my chords. You know, worship, top, back. Also, I'll go the minor route. So minor means 6. Sit on the 6. Okay. With any major scale, all right, the relative minor starts on the 6. So if I play C major, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, the relative minor starts from the 6 in the same scale. So you're just playing the C major scale from the 6th degree to the 6th degree. That's all it means. So 6, 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Anyway, I'll stay on the 6, and the 6th diatonic chord is A minor, A, C, E. And when you're on minor, it's a more dark, right, kind of sound. Right? What I like to do is I'll take the 5 in the minor chord and I'll just move it a semitone up. So I'll alternate between the 5 and the, well, it would be sharp 5 if we're talking in the context of A minor. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Sharp 5 would be an F. Or you could say from the 3 to the 4 if we're talking in the context of C major, because E is 3 and F is 4 in the context of C major. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. Alright, so alright, and then you could do your inversions. You could double up. Would I do chord extensions? Right, and then I can go to let's say I do the minor like so. So this is like A minor, second inversion. I'll do this. Back to the F add 9 or the F sus2. So I'm just creating melody, all based off that E to the F, the 3 to the 4. Or you could say 5 sharp 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sharp 5, right? However you want to look at it. So I'll voice like this. So I have my E and my F, and I'll just create melodies, right? I'll arpeggiate. So I'll stack A minor, stack, repeat the A on top, and just arpeggiate. Another thing I'll do is I'll do something like this. Well, what is that? Well, that's an A minor, right? That's a 6th chord. And then this is a D major in first inversion over that A. So from the A minor to the D major. So the 6th chord to a 2 major. The 2 chord in C naturally is D minor. It's a natural F, because F, right? The 2 chord is minor. The diatonic 2 chord in C is minor because C has no black keys, has no sharps or flats. So the natural chord would be a D minor, but I'm playing a sharp 4. Okay, so that would turn it into a D major as opposed to a D minor. So I'm 6th chord and then the 2 major. When I say 2 major, I mean the 2 chord, which is D, F, A, but in major form, which means I have to sharpen the F to create it into a D major. Okay. You could also do alternate bass lines on this 6. So of course the 6th chord is A, C, E. So C and E could be used as alternate bass notes. So I could see now I'm on the C. Or I could use the E. Remember, this is all from the chord. All the notes in the chord, I'm using them as substitute bass notes. Right? So this is more for your experimentation and discovery, but once you understand the basics, you can fly, right? So I'm showing you what chords I'm using. I can go to the 4, and I go to the 2 sharp. Alright, the 2 major. Okay? And then I can mix it all together, right? Oh, sorry, one thing with the minor. Gotta talk about the minor. I do add 2s in minor as well. So add 2 and any major or minor chord. From the root note, count up 2 notes. 1, 2. And you create that dissonance between the 2 and the 3. Right? If we're in the context of A is 1, B is 2, and the 3 is C. So that's like an A minor add 2 or A minor add 9. Add 9 because B, add 2 and add 9 are the same. You should know that by now. 2 in the context, sorry. B in the context of A is 2. But if it's an octave higher, it's 9 steps. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So when I say A minor add 2, it's the same as A minor add 9. It's the same thing. It's just because if you add 2, well, it's 1, 2. But if it's an octave higher, the B now is 9 steps away. Right? So A minor add 9 or A minor add 2 is the same thing. And then I keep the 1 and the 5, which is the A and the E in the bottom, like so. So that's another thing I could do. And you could now do an inversion of these 3 notes, like so. Alright? So we have a whole bunch of chords to now choose from just with this bass note. So on the 6, we have the straight minor. We talked about we could do the F sus 2, F sus 2, F sus 2, yep, F sus 2. You could do the D major, right? You could just play in between the chords and just create right? There's the add 2. S sharp down here. That D major that we talked about, you could do the add 2 with the D major as well, or the sus 2, sorry, and then drop the A sharp down here, so you could get that voicing as well. So there's so many infinite amount of combinations that you could experiment with, right, with your top bat music, worship music, atmosphere, right? That's kind of my approach. You could even do this, A minor, but do the sus 4. Sus 4 because the distance between A and D is 4. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. Distance between A and D is 4. In music, we say that's a sus 4. Right? I'm creating melodies in between. Right? I'm using the C major scale, but using like the F sharp, which would be I think it's can't remember, but we're using the F sharp, so you could use like the minor A minor scale, but use the F sharp, right? And then you go to the 4. If you can jump from the 6 to the 4 as well. on the 5 chord over the 4. Right? And I can also do the F sus2 over the 2 chord, which is a D and A. 2 chord in C major is D minor. So I'm just doing the 1 and the 5. So it's like a 4 over 2. Right? But sus2. Alright, so that's what I do for worship top bat music. Just those ideas there. So hopefully now you need to transpose this to different keys, right? So if you need help with that, you could download my Diatonic Chords Playbook. I have all the chords in diatonic form that I talked about in this video. You could click the link below this video, grab the PDF on my quick start course, and you get access to this PDF. So if we want to do those same things in D major, but you're having trouble with the chords in D major, well, I have the scale for you. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 1. Then I have the diatonic chords as a framework, right? So we said we use on the 4, right? Use worship chords. For worship chords, we go on the 4. Okay, so what's the 4? Oh, you don't know? It's okay, I have it for you. GBD. All right. And then I always voice with the 1 and the 5 on the bottom. Then I do a sus2. That's what we did. We're in the key of D major now, not C. All right. So if you have trouble transposing, all right, again, use this Diatonic Chords Playbook. Click the link below in the description. All right. And what did we talk about? Well, we said that we could go to the 2 as well, right? Right. One thing I forgot to mention is C. We could go on the 4 chord. We could also use the B as a substitute bass line. Basically, when you ever have a chord, any 3-note chord, major or minor, all these notes can be used as a substitute bass note. Okay, and that turns it into a slash chord. So again, we're on the 4. G is 4 in D major. 1 2 3 4. There's our scale. 1 2 3 4. So that means we're on the 4 chord. Here's the diatonic chord. Boom, sus2. Alternate bass line, or we could do the B and do a stretch chord like that. Sometimes when you change keys, you don't always do the same thing, right? So we also talked about the 6. Oh, what's the 6th chord in D major? I don't know. Oh, B minor, B, D, F sharp, right? So we talked about we could do the add 2, 1 2 to create more dissonance, right? Basic D minor, 1 and the 5 in the bottom. We do the add 2 here. Remember in C we said we do the 2 major. Well, what's the 2 in D? Well, it's E minor, but it's 2 major, so you have to sharpen that G sharp. This is a major chord. The diatonic is E minor because in the key of D, or the scale D scale, the natural note is G. So that means the diatonic chord is E, G, B. But for the context of this exercise, we're doing a 2 major. So we're doing the 6th chord, and then you could go to the 2 major like so. See how I transpose so easily because I know the number system? It's very easy. And then you arpeggiate, right? And stack your chords, right? As needs be. What else did we talk about? Alright? Or we could just go on the 4. One thing I forgot to mention in the key of C is we could do a flat 7. What does flat 7 mean? Well, we look at the natural 7th and flatten it. So in the key of D major, the natural 7th is 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. Based on the scale is C sharp. So a flat 7 would mean drop it a semitone lower to the C. So even when we talked about worship chords on the 4, we could drop to a flat 7 as an alternate chord, like so. So it's like a 4 chord over the flat 7. Okay, and then I repeat the G like so. It's like this is almost like a C chord without the E. Alright, see that? we talked about sharpening the 5, right? So the B minor is the F sharp. We could sharpen it. That's what we did in C major with the E and the F. Remember, in C major, we're doing the same thing in D major. And you could keep it simple depending on what you're looking for. Maybe the pastor doesn't want too much going on. He just wants some simple warm chords. Right? There I did the 4. I went to the 2. Maybe I forgot to mention, with the bass notes in the left hand, I'm always doing fifths. Spaces of 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I always do fifths. So if I'm on the 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If I'm on the flat 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm always doing a space of 5. Right? So you need a keyboard obviously to get this pad sound, but that's what I usually do. Right? So if I wanted to go to the key of E flat, same thing. I have my E flat major scale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1. I'm just gonna speed through a little bit on this one. What's the 4 chord? We said worship chords, we stay on the 4. A flat. Okay. Oops. Actually, let's change the software key here just to make things. Alright, the 4 in E flat is A flat major. Okay. Oops. A flat C, E flat. I'll do the add 2 or the add 9. Repeat the 1 and the 5 in the bottom, like so. And I'm in business. I'm in a different key. I could substitute on the 2 because in the key of E flat, F is 2. Remember we talked about the flat 7? Right? In the key of E flat, the scale, okay? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's why it's important to know all your scales. Okay? 7 is the natural 7, so the flat 7 would be a D flat, 1 semitone lower. So I'm just pedaling different bass notes just to change up the chord a little bit, keeping the chords the same in my right hand. Right? We talked about the 6. What's the 6 in E flat? Oh, C minor, C, E flat, G. Okay. And we talked about the add 2. Talked about the 2 major, remember? The 2 in E flat is F minor, but we want to do a 2 major, so we sharpen to an F major. So we play on the 6. Right? Create that nice sound. We could do the C minor add 2 or add 9, C minor add 9, like so. Then we could go to the 4. So I'm just playing in between these chords and just experimenting with the sound, right? It's a good idea to just go into worship on your own, right? And just worship the Lord and just play and discover, right? But that's my process. Right, so we talked about the 4 chord, the 6 chord, the 2 major, and using the use of the add, well, the sus2 or the add 2 and the add 9. Right, just rewind this video and you could pause and try to digest some of those ideas. But the principle is the same. So hopefully you know the principle and then you could apply it to different keys. Again, if you need help with the different keys, download the Diatonic, download my PDF and grab the quick start course, and I have all the chords in every key from C to B. E major chords, F major chords, it's all here. G flat, right? If you're having trouble, look at all those flats. You need help with those flats, I got you. G major, right? You could play in all keys, and a gospel musician must know how to play in all keys. Maybe I'll do a part 2. If you have any questions, drop in the comments. And maybe I'll do a part 2 to this, but hopefully this helped. Take care. Want to learn how to play even more gospel chords without theory overwhelm? Simply download the Top 7 Beginner Gospel Chords PDF by clicking the link in the description. You'll learn about the top 7 must-know gospel chords and how to use them in gospel songs you already know. Again, to get access, hit that link below, and I'll see you on the inside.